All-Star, one hot night right now on FS1.
Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. If the ups and downs got you blue, just smile, cousin, cause baseball's right on target. In New York, the Yankees get down with their long-standing rivals. In Detroit, the Tigers hold down first by hitting them where they ain't. In Minnesota, the Twins keep rolling, getting down and dirty in a division race. In Atlanta, the upstart Braves go Air Express to put down a rally. And in Cincinnati, the Reds make going down to the wire a winning habit. The best of baseball now in focus with no downtime in sight. Big league headlines and highlights coming up on This Week in Baseball. National League confrontation. Down the stretch, the Houston Astros have been the team to beat in the Western Division. Whether or not J.R. Richards sees action this year, with the likes of Nolan Ryan on the mound, the Astros appear awesome. Giving up fewer walks this season than ever before, Ryan has been at the top of his game with the lowest ERA in the majors. The workhorse of the Astro staff has been Joe Niekro, who with an ERA under 3 has won 8 games. And after a slow start, Don Sutton appears at home in the Dome. The crafty ex-Dodger lost his first 3 games, but stayed tough and lifted his strikeout total to among the top 5 in the league, while evening his record at 8-8. Another acquisition was Bob Knepper, the left-hander the Astros badly needed. Knepper won 8 of his first 11 with 5 shutouts and an ERA under 2. In the late innings, Joe Sambito and his bullpen mates take over to make Houston that much tougher. Up next in the West, the Cincinnati Reds. At Riverfront Stadium, old Mr. Red has had a reason to kick up his heels of late. And manager John McNamara's band has gotten itself in tune. Accustomed to winning, Cincinnati fans know what they want, and a healthy Johnny Bench can help provide it. In the first 4 games he started after coming off the disabled list, Big John got 8 hits, of which 4 were homers, including this game winner in the bottom of the 9th against the Padres. The Reds took 2 out of 3 from San Diego, going over the 500 mark as the first half division-winning Dodgers came to town. Attention was focused on starter Mario Soto in the opener as he held the Dodgers in check while the Reds ruled the Riverfront Roost. With the score tied in the bottom of the 10th inning, up came Ron Oster. The count 3 balls and 2 strikes. And there it is. Going, and it is gone. Cincinnati celebrates a 3-2 victory. The next night, Tom Seaver faced fabulous Fernando Valenzuela in what promised to be a pitcher's duel. But the best-laid plans have often gone downtown, which is where Rick Mundy dropped off 2 Tom Seaver deliveries. Mundy's second homer gave Fernando and the Dodgers a 4-2 lead in the 6th. In the 7th, the Reds rallied as Ray Knight, in the midst of a 9-game hitting streak, drove in the tying run. Once again, the game went into extra innings. And in the 11th, Dave Concepcion came up with the bases loaded. The league leader in game-winning RBIs did it again. A sacrifice fly that lifted the Reds to their 5th one-run victory of the week. Now, another challenger, the Atlanta Braves, who are staging a strong second-half run. And this year, a strong second half could mean a whole lot more. One spark has come from outfielder Claudell Washington, who's batting around 300 and leading the team in hitting. Center fielder Dale Murphy may be having an off season compared to last year, but an outstanding effort beat the San Diego Padres. Murph homered twice in one game against the Padres and took over the team lead in homers and RBIs. Chris Chambliss has been the most consistent Brave, as rock solid as ever, leading the team in base hits and total bases and among the league leaders in doubles and game-winning RBIs. The Braves are usually a hitting team, but this year Atlanta fans have pointed out some good defense. Second baseman Glenn Hubbard has made only 5 errors in 80 games. Hubbard teams up well with Chambliss to give Atlanta a strong right side. Second season, the bullpen has taken on extra weight, and reliever Rick Camp has carried his part of the load in yeoman fashion. With 4 wins and 6 saves in Atlanta's first 18 victories, Camp has kept the Braves in pennant contention. In the National League East, the Chicago Cubs have come back from a near disastrous first half, and they've been taking care of business on the north side of town. Benefiting from a second chance this year, the Cubs have found starting over from scratch to be an asset. Leading the way, Bill Buckner, who picked up 3 game-winning RBIs in a recent 6-game span while raising his batting average to .319. In June, the Cubs made a transaction in the bonds market that has paid off well. Bobby Bonds dominated the Cubs' 3-game sweep of the first-place Cardinals as he cashed in big against his former St. Louis teammates. Bobby hit a pair of homers in 2 different games, powering the Cubs to their first wins of the year on artificial turf after 17 straight losses. The Cubs are also bullish on 24-year-old Leon Durham, who came over from the Cardinals in the Bruce Sutter deal and is among the league leaders in hitting. Another positive note for manager Joey Malfitano's squad has been the turnaround on defense. Last year, the Cubs had the lowest fielding percentage in the league, but in 1981, things have picked up. In the field and at bat, the Cubs could be in the money sooner than expected. Now, time for this week's Volkswagen quiz, brought to you by the 1981 models. Volkswagen does it again. The Phillies' Pete Rose leads the National League in base hits and has a chance to win his 4th batting crown, having already won in 68, 69, and 73 with the Reds. Pete can now become the first player ever to win in 3 decades. Can you name the last Philly to win a batting title? Stay tuned.
Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen, and this is the Rolaids Relief Man Award. It's the only award for relief pitchers recognized by Major League Baseball. Last year, Dan Quisenberry of the Kansas City Royals won it, and in the National League, Raleigh Fingers of the San Diego Padres. Now, here's how you can follow the pitchers who'll spell relief this year. Give each reliever 2 points for a win or a save. Subtract 1 point for each loss. So keep score and see who wins this year's Rolaids Relief Man Award.
American League East. With everything still up in the air, strong pitching can make a difference. And in New York, the first half champion Yankees were armed with surprises. How about that? Dave LaRoche and LaLob made the Brewers a doubting Thomas. Then old friend Ralph Houck and the rival Red Sox came to town for the first time. In Game 1, rookie Dave Righetti put on a show that had everybody talking as he struck out 11 and gave up only 1 run in 7 innings, dropping his ERA to 1.59. With a .352 batting average over 14 games, Reggie Jackson proved that when you're going good, you get the good bounces. The Yankees were off to an early lead. Now, nobody knows better than old number 44 that when you're hot, you're hot. So Reggie kept the fire burning at both ends. It's the time of year when you've got to go get it. And in the long or short run, third baseman Greg Nettles can rise to the occasion. With a 4-1 lead, reliever Rich Gossage looks even more imposing. The Goose cooked up 2 perfect innings, and the Yankees sizzled to their 11th win in 14 games and Goose to his 20th save. The next day, Red Sox rooters had a chance to whoop it up themselves as rookie Bob Ojeda reached down deep in a bid to pitch the first no-hitter at Yankee Stadium since Don Larson. Keeping the Bombers at bay, Ojeda got a helping hand from Carney Lansford as the no-hitter continued in the 6th. In the 8th inning, a heads-up play from the rookie himself kept the no-hitter alive. Then in the 9th inning, with the Red Sox leading 2-0, pinch hitter Rick Cerrone led off. A double by Cerrone derailed the dream and set up a score that ended the day for a disappointed Bob Ojeda, who took consolation, though, in a 2-1 victory and a crowd that appreciated his brush with history. In the series finale, Bob Bull Watson was loaded for bear as he boomed a ferocious shot to straightaway center field. Look at it go. The Yankees ignored their .250 team batting average and rattled off 10 runs on 12 hits. And Yankee fans saw more than just offense. Armed for defense was Reggie Jackson. But the defender's defender was Greg Nettles. The last of 4 Yankee pitchers was Dave LaRoche, who came on in the 9th inning. LaRoche held on to protect starter Ron Guidry's 7th straight win as the high-flying Yankees continued to climb toward first place and a repeat performance in the 2nd season. Next stop, Detroit, where the first-place Tigers were still strutting their stuff as Motown momentum continued to build. Anyone who thinks Sparky Anderson hasn't turned the Tigers around is in for a big surprise. Against the Cleveland Indians, the Tigers really stole the show, sweeping 3 in a row. Batting over .400 in the second half, Kirk Gibson had a big series with 6 hits and 5 RBIs. The Tigers mauled Indian pitching for 34 hits and 25 runs. of the biggest blows was struck in the second game of the series. Lance Parrish batted in the bottom of the 12th, and after failing twice to sacrifice, Big Wheel changed gears. For Parrish, his 10th homer, and it was his second straight game-winning hit. And it marked the 8th time in 21 second-half victories that the Tigers had scored the winning run in their last at-bat. Up from the minors, reliever Larry Rothschild pitched hitless ball in all 3 games and capped off the Cleveland sweep with his first big league save. And the young and restless Tigers held on to first place. In the American League West, the patched-up Twins brightened up the scene for Minnesota fans whose thrills had been a little hard to come by. With a second-half race that lacks a decisive leader, the Twins came back from oblivion and got into the running. No longer could the opposition merely coast along. Minnesota's turnabout had Twin citizens on their feet in the final days of Old Met Stadium. And rookie Dave Engel gave the hometowners something more to shout about when he connected for his first big league home run against the White Sox. And the Twins their 4th straight victory. And the next game he came through again with a second inning double that gave the Twins an early lead. Minnesota increased its lead as Rob Wilfong kept his September batting average near 300 with an RBI single that lifted the Twins to another victory. Minnesota went on to sweep the White Sox as rookie Gary Ward also stood out. In 2 games, Ward had 5 hits and 9 at-bats, driving in 2 runs. The Twins won 7 straight, but the biggest hand came from the pitching staff. Brad Havens, another rookie, won twice. 5 of the 7 wins were saved by Doug Corbin, the relief ace in the right place, as the Twins continued to astound in the West. Now, back to this week's Volkswagen quiz. 23 years ago, in 1958, Richie Ashburn won the National League batting title with a .350 average and was thus the last Philadelphia Philly to do so. He also won in 1955 when he batted .338. And today, Richie's still a favorite as a Philly broadcaster.
Take a bite.
Hey, funny looking, what you got cooking? At the ballpark, the roving camera always wants to know. So if a ball player plays the fool or just keeps it cool, he might better look out for the eye that's looking in. This ain't the French Foreign Legion. This is a ball game in the big leagues. And whatever the weather, from bullpen to dugout, a look inside reveals there's more than one way to beat the heat. And there are plenty of ways to stay warm. After all, a stitch in time, and you can go 9. Well, it seems so. Right, Gaylord? In the dugout, the camera finds that Lefty Carlton likes to keep his hands in shape, while Jerry Royce likes to keep the dugout in shape. Oh, well, you never know what you're liable to see when you go to the ball game with your TV. Right, fellas? Now a dazzling display of diamond daring. Up, down, and all around. Every position. Fancy fielding to red-hot hitting, courtesy of Baltimore's Eddie Murray. 2 grand slams in the second half and 33 RBIs in 33 games. Not bad for number 33. Finally, a hurling hay for John Denny of the Cleveland Indians, recipient of this week's Gillette Special. 34 2/3 innings without giving up a run, which included 3 shutouts and 5 wins in a row. Congratulations, John. And that's all for now, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.
Please come ready 369 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. That's MINT to 369 369.